In this section, you'll import the starter projects, shared, users, products, and we'll review the existing shared package Codebase. Let's get an overview of what you'll be using to build the share package. You'll be analyzing the application's common features. You'll be importing the starter projects, which will be the shared, users, and products. Reviewing PubSpec YAML plugins, you'll be adding the Connectivity Plus plugin, which will be able to monitor internet connection on and off, so that if we lose internet connection, we'll be able to show a message that says, you are offline. The HTTP plugin, which allow us to make RESTful APIs. We'll review in the constants. In other words, you'll be creating responsive sizes enum and the image sizes class. We'll be reviewing theme classes. You'll be able to handle dark and light themes, and you'll be able to find global theme colors. Continuing the overview, the API service is responsible to actually making the HTTP call to the RESTful API service and to bring back the JSON format of the data, and the response will check if it's good or if it's bad, and we can respond accordingly. The connection service will monitor our internet connection. Sometimes when you travel with mobile devices, you might not have internet in certain places. So it'll be responsible to say, hey, the internet is on or off. And we'll be able to show the appropriate message. Now the view and the widgets, right? The status message will be called if, let's say, our connection service says, hey, we have no internet. So we'll show a status message saying, hey, we're currently disconnected from the internet. And then we'll take a look at the share.dart file, which will have partial exports of the files that you are creating in the shared package. Up next, you'll open the shared starter package and you'll review existing code-based logic. Now note that you'll be able to see three separate projects that have been imported: the shared package, the users, and the products projects. They will be all contained in one folder. All right. You should have the shared package starter project open. And let's review what we get with the package here. Okay, let's look at the helpers. Let's look at the constants. So we have an enum called responsive sizes, right? And it gives us the breakpoints, whether it's mobile or 600, web, desktop, or tablet at 601 or greater. And the sidebar width, when we do the split screen, will be 320 pixels. And we have a constructor, responsive sizes, which will give back the value. So in the applications, the mobile application, we would say responsive sizes dot mobile, that value will give us these values just in case we wanted to check and do some value calculations with them. And then the third one is the class image sizes, which just gives us an image height of 350 pixels high. And this is so that when we show the images, either a single image or multiple horizontal images, we want the images not to be greater than this number. And let's look at the themes. So the themes, let's just move this over here so we can see a little bit better. So we have the light theme, which takes the theme data .light, right? We're using material 3, and we're doing a copy with, and the color scheme is from a seed, and the seed color is light blue. You can choose any colors that you like, and the brightness is light, and the theme colors for the arrow is theme color .arrow, which means it's red. If we scroll down here, here's the class theme colors where you can define your own colors, okay? And these will be global that the apps can use. And then we have the dark theme, same, use material 3, true. And this is the same, seed color is light blue, but this time the brightness is dark. Very good. Let's look at the services. This is an API service. It uses the HTTP package, right? Our plugin. And all it's doing is just a class called API service, right? The method is get search. It requires a URL path parameters being passed in. It does, we will URI parse our URL path with the parameters, right? This is the actual HTTP call that we'll make to the server that has the APIs that will return back a JSON representation of our data. And then we're going to get a response by calling the HTTP get of that particular URL. And if the response status code is 200, we'll just return the response body. If it's got an error, then we'll return just an error. Let's look at the connection service, which uses the Connectivity Plus plugin. And it's a class called connection service, right? And here's the constructor. And what does it do? It has a method here that checks if the internet connection is available. It goes in, checks, and says, okay, let's check connectivity. If the connectivity result equals none, which means, hey, we don't have internet connectivity, then clear the list of data that we're currently showing and just say, hey, the connection available equals false, which will now change the mobile application screen to a message saying, hey, we lost internet connection here. Or if it is good, we do have an internet connection, get the list, right? Get the data list, and say the connection available is true. Now this get data list and so on, okay? These functions are being passed from a mobile application. So these are custom functions that you will create when we create the mobile applications. And at the end here, it's going to return is the connection is available, true or false. And then we have another method called watch connectivity. So constantly watching as we're working in the application. If the internet changes, it automatically checks, right? It's listening to those events and it clears the data or gets the data list according to what's happening. Excellent. All right, let's take a look at the widget, the status message, which is what I was just speaking about. It's just a stateless widget that takes a message, a banner message. We're going to have a banner on the side that says, hey, no internet, banner color and text color that you can modify. And we just basically have a column, right, that shows a banner with the message, and the location is going to be top start. And then we have a center here that just shows, hey, what the message is, we've lost internet connection or whatever your custom message is, okay? Very straightforward here. And this is the shared package, which the two mobile application users and products will call these classes and these widgets, reusable widgets, to be used in the mobile application so we can share them so that multiple applications can share the same code. We don't have to duplicate this code in each mobile application. Let's open up the shared Dart. This is actually on a package. This is where you want to export all the files that you create. And in the next section, we'll create more classes and widgets. And we will add the exports to here. So in the mobile application, all we'll be importing is just a shared Dart file. Excellent. All right, let's get a summary of what you learned. You analyzed the application's common features. You imported the starter projects, shared, users, and products. You reviewed the PubSpec YAML plugins, right? The Connectivity Plus plugin, which monitors the internet connection, whether it's on or off, and displays the appropriate page. The HTTP plugin, which allows us to make RESTful API calls. And constants, the responsive sizes enum, and the image sizes class. And the theme classes, you reviewed the dark and light themes, which will change according to device settings, and the theme colors, where you can define your own custom colors. Now, continuing the summary of what you learned, you reviewed the API service, which is responsible for making HTTP calls and return back a JSON format of the data, and also monitor the response, whether it's good or bad, and show the appropriate message. The connection service is responsible to monitor if the internet is on or off and show the appropriate message, which the status message widget will handle and show the message that says, hey, you currently do not have internet connection. And you review the share.dot file, which shows the partial exports right now of all the classes and services and widgets that are currently in the project. And in future videos here, we will create new classes and so on, and we will add them to the share.dot file. Up next, you'll be creating classes and widgets for the shared package.